Whatever happens from here on out, this is the last map of this best of three. One team eliminated, one team progresses. I'm Vince, joined by Dust and Grayhound and Mousesports. Their final battleground will be Mirage. The knife rounders came and gone. Grayhound won it, elected to go CT side.
Not surprising to see that happen, but yep, we are indeed into our final map of the day. Our final map as casters for this event, and the final map of the group stage. Winner, like you said, going to the playoffs. Loser being so close, but yet not close enough. And I can't imagine that this will be anything less than a great game. Not what we've seen so far. It does seem like it should be.
I certainly hope that it's going to be closer. Oh, we have a pause. Heat pack exploded. Sorry.
Them hot hands are extra hot. So Voxic not only destroys mice, but now apparently he's also crushing the hot hands.
Well, that's classic banter, isn't it? Just about to start, heat pack explodes.
Sure, that's fun.
So apparently it'll only take a few moments, and then we'll be live into the map.
Yeah. Just brush it off. It's all good.
In terms of the buy, though, both teams electing for utility. Sicko does get a kit. Last time around on Mirage, they didn't opt for it. Nearly cost them. And that was obviously where Sicko pulled off his smoke diffuse of 10 seconds against Voxic. So they've decided, nah, I'm not going to go for that again. Definitely get a kit.
So when you look at Mirage, this is a map that has been great all year long for Mousesports. They did have a bit of a losing streak coming into this tournament. But their overall record for the year is now 12-5. They have used it twice already this tournament to get some victories over Evil Geniuses and Optic. As far as what goes for Greyhounds, they also used it as part of an upset today against Team Liquid. We all remember that. They also did get... So, should be good stuff.
See how Greyhound decides to set up. Most Mousesports heading towards Ramp and Palace. Haven't quite pulled the trigger yet to have the two smokes. One's going to be heading, I assume, towards the staircase, and one on jungle. Try and block off that side and focus on the CT side. Nades are going over there. In's hiding in. The smoke does take a little bit of damage. More of a love tap than anything else, but now he's been finished off. The P250 from Rops will be his demise. Voxic gets flashed, but still comes out with 2 kills. How is that a possibility? How has that just happened? He was fully flashed. And he just flicks across to both of them.
I don't know.
His killing streak comes to an end, though.
Yeah. But he's done so much for his team. He's gotten them into a very winnable 3 versus 2.
Yeah, as they still have the bomb planted, though, for default. 2 players are going to be taken away from this. This bomb's not planted for them, but on the cross, maybe they can deal with Sicko, who is the kit wielder. Malta with 1. But again, Voxic and pistol rounds, there is something special about that combination.
Yeah, not quite 4 kills this time, but still massive impact with the 2 that he did find. Rops able to shore it up with Kerrigan to finish the job, so it is indeed going to be that 1-0 start for Mousesports. They're going to go ahead and buy up what they can here. Mostly SMGs, but a couple of rifles sprinkled in as well. The force does come up from Greyhound in response.
Downstairs, Inns has been spotted. Yep, just the shoulder peeking around the corner. Even though Kerrigan was flashed, he'd already seen where he was. So just hold down left click. Greyhound's force buy off to a rocky, rough start.
Well, Malta does spot something here at Catwalk, but is he going to be able to handle it? It's kind of the next question. That ladder room bait and switch that they were attempting to do has been sniffed out. Malta does get 1 from it, but that's going to be it. B is now wide open for the taking for this bomb carrier to come in, except for Sicko, and even he's not able to find anything. It's been cleaned up. The 4 spy does not pan out. Mousesports up 2-0. Greyhound will have to walk into this one with just USPs most likely, maybe some P250s, maybe a Deagle or 2. But nonetheless, it should be a very easy time for Mousesports.
Yeah, Sicko only opted to go for a scout, so he still had money left over. So he's going to have an AWP next round regardless of what happens here. But, yep, it is very much a bare bones buy. And Malta is being eroded away by a Molotov. Still alive, though. Lives to tell the tale. Smoke down into window. Going to try and cordon off the middle area. Malta in the smoke. Maybe just opting to see if there's a window boost in play anytime soon.
Is definitely worthwhile to kind of make sure that's not going to be the case. In the meantime, Chris J coming up the A ramp with the Mat 10, a couple coming up the connector. It is definitely a stack on this side of the map. There's no question about that, but the firepower just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, and that is fair. It is just pistols after all. Stickler actually does get one kill and picks up a SIG inside Palace, trying to get away. Trying to see if he can't bring some more players down on his way out of this, but not going to be the case. Chris J will get the Mat 10 kill, get that extra money because of it, and then still pick up the SIG in the end. So all the rifles retained.
Just the one kill. Ended up falling. Sicko, full buy with an AWP. Inns decides to go for the kit. Does mean that he's lacking a smoke, but at least they have that defuse kit if worse comes to worse. Important to have at least one.
Like we're going to see a pretty fast take up the A ramp here from Mousesports, picking up the pace a little bit here in the opening rifle round. Sicko does draw first blood on the Kerrigan, but Mousesports at least able to make their way up to Tetris. They also still have presence in Palace. Frozen still holding the back of mid.
Crochet faking the bomb, trying to drop some of these CTs. They're already one player down. They don't want to extend that to two. In's up, and that's exactly what's happened. He's been tagged down to 5. He is the kit wielder. Taps across from Voxic. Here comes Frozen. Turning this back around in their favor, potentially. There's a smoke down and connector that affords Frozen the opportunity to just relocate slightly. Malta is down there waiting for a chance to strike. And in the meanwhile, Chris J chips in with his SG. Suddenly, somehow this round has got out of control for Grayhound. It looked as though they had this under wraps pretty comfortably when Inns went in to start things off. Frozen almost baiting Chris J. Malta never expected the second player to be there. And Sicko, who shot a couple of rounds across from the CT boxes, is going to have to try and save back in CT spawn. Mousesports off to a 4-0 lead. This is starting to feel a little bit like Dust 2.
It is, but it is also true that it started this way on Inferno. I think Mousesports were up 5-1 or something like that, and Grayhound winds up making the comeback and winning the map. So it's not quite in a state where we can really determine how it's headed just yet. But certainly Mousesports are happy with the results thus far, especially a round like that where you lose a player immediately with that op of Sicko, yet you still brute force your way through with limited utility. Now Mousesports are sitting pretty with full nade sets, and meanwhile Grayhound just have the op, some pistols and armor. As we do see Mousesports again changing it up. They're varying their plays nicely. This time it's 3 towards apartments early. Kerrigan at the back of mid. Rot still playing outside A as he always does. Kerrigan is going to find Ends right away and connector to add to it. Definitely some aggression from Grayhound here in mid.
Yeah, they're pushing right up with Malta with a 5-7. If he can get round the back of Mousesports, this could get very, very dangerous indeed. He may even see the bomb coming out. They're going to meet heads any second now. He's heard them drop down. He's letting the first player pass. Here comes the second one. Executes him instantly. And Voxic realizes that there's a player right next to him. He's going to try and play this one passively. Lands the AWP shot. So unfortunate not to get the kill onto Malta. But Malta now has somewhat isolated the terrorists away from each other. Finally, Kerrigan, though, from Underpass is going to lay Malta to rest and try and lay waste to this round, which was starting to get a little bit cautious. But still, they have 2 players on A.
Yeah, absolutely. One of them being that AWP of Sicko, so the heaviest piece of firepower they have is in the right position at the right time, but still tapped out by Frozen.
Dexter on default still hasn't been checked. Oh no, Frozen's going for the plant. Hello, Dexter's missed. Oh my god, he's finally got the kill, but so incredibly labored. to the point that he nearly got killed as a result. Now Dexter's last man is going to be Dick Stacy, who is in mid. He was trying to pivot off. If he got that kill clean, he could have maybe transitioned across to a second one. But Dick Stacy, all he can do is maybe pull back and try and save this SG. I can't believe that Dexter took that many bullets, man. That's unreal.
Yeah, I mean, I was fearing that he was going to have the full blunder because, like you said, it gave an opportunity for Rops to actually pull out a weapon and almost pop off the frag, but it's not going to come to fruition. It's going to be 5-0 for Mousesports. Dick Stacy will at least hold on to the SIG and armor. That is going to, of course, give Grayhound a little bit of added firepower going to the next round. The money is still really, really low, though, all in all. Luckily, they've hit that max loss bonus point, so they'll be able to get a good buy going. But they're on kind of that buy-save rotation now at this point if they keep losing rounds, so that is really the biggest problem. They need to win now, and they can't really afford any mistakes after that.
We'll say, though, Dust, that on that epic comeback that they pulled off against Liquid,
yeah,
it was their CT side that was the weakest side. It was their T side where they picked it back up again. So we know they have that in store still, but regardless of what the scoreline is here.
That is for certain. Voxic is going to be taking that AWP towards B apartments with Chris J, who normally plays that position. Again, Rop's still playing outside A as he always has been. Frozen. The one man just kind of holding for mid pushes. It seems like Mousesports really do want to focus towards B, at least early on. May not be a commitment, but they at least want to put the pressure, start putting some utility down. See if they can't get Grayhound moving.
No aggression this time around. Grayhound have maybe exhausted that opportunity early on. Mousesports slowly, systematically taking control over mid, pushing through the B-app side. They've got Carrigan to watch for potential rotations. He's making a move up on connector. They can still dart through underpass if they so choose and still hit A.
Does seem like it's more like Carrigan cutting off rotations, though, at connector, and it seems like they really do want to go B. 2 players on site. End's not too far behind.
Already hopping down with flashbangs accompanying them. Malta and Dick Stacy, but there's Voxic with his AWP. He's chipped in with 2, and he's going to have to get the full ace and a 1v3 clutch. If Mousesports aren't going to concede their first round. A quick scope, point blank range, going to deal with him. Sicko doesn't take the shot on the cross. Voxic a little bit fortunate to get away with that. And he may have an idea as to where both players are now. 7 seconds to go, going for the plant. Sicko around the corner. And the aggression is going to reap the round. So Grayhound with their first round on the board. It is at the cost of 3 players, though.
Yeah, Voxic, nice, impressive shots with the AWP, but just no one else on his team was really able to trade their way into that B bomb site. Malta, in particular, really big on that hold, also catching Carrigan, cut up the catwalk. So it was a great effort from Grayhound that get them their first on the board. Mousesports obviously still have money to spend with all of these victories and bomb plants. Double op will be in effect for Grayhound. It's going to be Sicko and Malta.
Plenty of smokes in mid to hide behind on both sides of the coin. In's in connectors, not far off, and walks into the shot. Oh, Voxic had a few pot shots in the exact same position.
Oh, man.
There's the instant counteraction, though.
Yep. Malta finding it. Aggression on the A ramp from Dexter. Kerrigan will gladly take that opportunity away. Rops now coming out of the palace.
No.
What happened to Kerrigan? Did it not extinguish all the way?
He threw it on the corner, so it was still mainly up there.
Oh, no.
Oh, that is actually like a 1G.
Tragic scenes.
Oh, no.
I thought I heard an extinguished noise. I was watching Rops' perspective.
It did extinguish, but he hit it on the corner, so it was still most of the Molotov was burning, and he just ran through it and died.
That is actually a real 1G then. Most people
like a legit.
Yeah, it's legit, as good as it gets. Either way, Mousesports do at least still win the round, so there is that. That is kind of the silver lining of that situation from Kerrigan. He also did get a key kill on the A ramp push to help them win this round. So you know what? I'll let him have it. At least it's not like Summit where your team literally loses a map because of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Double op is going to get saved by Grayhound as well, so that's also nice. Maybe not. I don't know. There's a couple players hunting. Could find them.
Even if they can take one of these guns away, that's going to be good enough. Both would be the icing on the cake, but Sicko will retain his AWP. But at least Carrigan had a good laugh about it.
Yeah,
I think it would have been quite a different situation if he had lost the round, but
yeah, or if it was like a critical one. So, all good. Now that we're back onto a full buy, what the Mousesports want to do, again, they do favor those fast 1-4 and 2-3 splits we've been seeing so far. They really like to pressure one side of the map early. They don't default that much. And there it is, Voxic again with an opening pick, this time towards A ramp.
This is looking a little bit tentative.
Grim? Oh.
Grim is another word, definitely.
Okay.
Bleak.
Rough.
There are a bunch of words that come to mind, some of which I can't say on stream. And I'm sure many of which the Australian fans will be thinking right now, especially as Sicko has just been splattered by Voxic. His second kill of the round. He really has.
Yeah. It's like a Jackson Pollock painting back there now up against that wall.
Carrigan again is lurking in underpass. Hefty damage to Ins, but not the kill. Also, Malta is making a move past B apps. He does have a deagle. Going to try and take a bit of an aggressive play. Does he actually go around for the rotation? It doesn't really matter because the players on A are being dealt with accordingly. Dick Stacy at the back of CT boxes. Going to try and piece out of there and save his M4. Malta may be setting up for exit frags. That's all I can really think of right now. He doesn't want to lose this Kevlar. That's for guaranteed sure.
Couldn't agree more with you. Mousesports now skate up to the ever classic 7-1. It is a bit different though whenever they had the 5-0 star. It's not like it's the 7-0 to 1-7. Either way, might not even get to save anything here as Frozen is right in the right position to stop Malta. Now the M4 is still with Dick Stacy and B Apartments. It doesn't seem like he's going to be threatened, so there is that. Op tossed away. And yeah, this is looking more reminiscent of D2 at this point than anything we saw in Inferno. It never got this bad for Greyhounds.
Yeah, certainly not this one-sided. I mean, you've got 3 players that are on 2 or 1 kill, and we're in the 9th round. Dick Stacy, Ins, and Dexter. Dexter especially is quite surprising because he was instrumental in that comeback against Liquid. It was really the Dexter show in a lot of parts. He pulled off a sick clutch.
We love you too, Let's 45. Just want to throw that in there since this round seems like it's going to be kind of a softer one. The pass push could be fun. Does get a kill onto Chris J in the end. Now Voxic's kind of in a weird place because he's actually pushed forward. He's even been tagged down to 20 HP. So I thought this round was going to be soft, but maybe not. Do they even know Dexter's pushed through? I don't think so. Okay, yeah, never mind. Oh, the timing. Okay.
Ins is also bagged a kill onto Rops, though. So this is definitely on shaky ground. Mousesports can't put a foot right, it would seem. Frozen and Voxic both dangerously low, especially when you consider that there's 2 assault rifles now in the hands of Grayhound. Lack of nades and kits, though, could be an issue, as it's likely they're going to get on the site in the next few moments. Although there's 2 players in kitchen where they can't stop the bomb from being planted. It is already in position from Carrigan. Voxic on the overwatch, peering into the kitchen. Has his in-game leader covered. Frozen going to try and fake the bomb again, just to try and see if he can get one of these CTs to come out in the open and show themselves. And meanwhile, Sicko is going to have to contend with a Molotov if he wants to try and get into apps. I think Grayhound collectively have decided against this.
Yeah, holding on to that SIG is great, and even the armor and deagle for Sicko would help. It gives him a nice little secondary to go with an AWP next round. They are pretty much at max loss bonus. I think they indeed are, so they should still get a nice full buy in the next. No problemo, but it is going to be 8-1 Mousesports. That was a really weird round, though, to be fair. Like, there was definitely chances with Dexter's push through B-apps, Ins catching the kill in Palace. You know, it certainly did leave you to wonder if maybe, just maybe, they were going to pull one over on Mousesports, but they didn't quite find those finishing touches. And so it's just back to dominance for Mousesports after a small break. 3 in a row.
Voxic back to dominance too. A similar performance to Dust 2, 12 and 4 early on. 140 ADR. I'm pretty sure that's almost identical to how he was performing at this stage on Dust 2. Very similar.
Yeah. It's been great stuff, good consistency. That's exactly what you want to see. In the meantime, Mousesports are taking a bit of a slower approach, getting back more to a default. Chris J being that B Apartments player. Even when he was like a primary operator entry, he still really loved playing B Apartments. So I think he feels at home playing that position as like a true peripheral player on this team. Again, they like to have the focus being on Kerrigan and Frozen being that entry pack, while they let Voxic do his aggressive style, opting to suit with it. Seems like A is going to be the target eventually, but for right now, they want to catch any B apps aggression or any type of push mid. And indeed, Chris J will catch underpass. Quick 5-on-4 for Mousesports.
It doesn't help that Dexter has already been aggressive a few times going through B apps. Definitely something that will be in the back of Mousesports' mind. This time, the aggression just simply not paying out at all. Puts his team in an awkward position. It's just going to be Malta by himself in B apps.
Yep.
Rest of the team are located on A.
Not even close to rotating either is the thing. Like, it's not like someone's window room or something like that. It's going to be further, and that's even going to further keep them bitten on this A bomb site. When Voxic has an AWP, you're not expecting a lurking op, if that makes any sense. You know, you expect the bomb to be with that guy. And so now, even because of that, Malta gambling into 3-on-5, you have to gamble in this situation. This is going to just further unlock B for Mousesports. These kills do break out on A ramp, but the task has already been complete. It's going to be a post-plant on this B bomb site. It's so hard to retake this site, Vince. But they do have kits on everyone and some utility, so it is a chance.
That has slightly depleted and deflated as a result of Inz's life being deemed forfeit. I think if he goes and gets that entry back onto the site, then they go all systems ahead. But because he dies, just save the 2 AWPs. Oh, Malta, if he pulled the trigger, that would have been a dirty shot. Yeah, Mousesports going to have a 9-1 lead, and Grayhounds, it is very reminiscent of Dust 2.
Yep, almost identical. I think that was 10-1. Then it wound up being, what was it half? 12-3, I think?
Yes, I believe 12-3 or 13-2. It was actually 13-2, yeah.
Oh, that's right, yeah. It has been a bit of a Cinderella story for Grayhound, though, if we're honest. I mean, helped in part to be eliminating Evil Geniuses with that best-of-1 opening win on Nuke. That was a big upset. Obviously, making history, grouping Liquid for the first time. Liquid had been so many finals appearances, and every time they had made the playoffs, but now they got grouped for the first time in 14 events against the Greyhounds 2-0. It would have been nice to see them keep it going, but Mousesports, man, they are a tough cookie. That's an understatement.
Yeah, whatever happens here, you've got to give a lot of credit to Greyhound for their victories. And
yeah, add the context, they just brought in a new 5th as well. I mean, that's a great start for them with this new lineup. But we'll see. There is still some hope left that they might indeed dig deep and get something. They do have the double op back in play. One of them is going to be... Actually, none are going to test. It's 2 rifles on B site now.
Frozen was completely... Wait, what? How is Dick Stacy not kill Frozen there? He had him absolutely dead. On the palm of his hand, on a plate. That one tap from Chris J is silky smooth. And now Sicko and Dexter again have to think about saving.
That's tough. I mean, they actually did have both players basically playing 4 with rifles on B apartments. No one was really like kitchen or catwalk. They were both right there. That also allowed the flashbang to be really effective. And so you're really seeing Mousesports just start to sprint towards the finish line now. They're getting great performances out of every single player. Obviously, Voxic and Frozen are the highlights, as they usually are. Again, the winner of this will be playing Vitality in the quarterfinals tomorrow. We have an all-Swedish affair in the other quarterfinal between Fnatic and NIP on Swedish Soul. That's going to be a banger. No matter what is the winner of that team, no matter who you think's the favorite or not, it will be cool to see them clash. They had a really awesome best-of-3. I think that was at Sydney, right? It went like super close games every game. I can't remember if it was all 3 maps or if it was just a 2-0, but it was. I remember the maps being super ridiculous. So it'll be cool to see that play out again with their roster changes. But again, obviously, the other focus for Mousesports is they want vitality. They want another shot at them. That was a team that partially knocked them out of the Starlight of Berlin Major.
Well, Sicko's AWP isn't really having the same level of impact. He dropped 30 on Inferno. Right now, he's just being dropped. Voxic seemingly can't miss on him. And one of your star players, one of the main heavy hitters, is being neutralized so effectively. Greyhounds have got to try and adapt to that on the fly. They've been unable to do so thus far.
Yeah, it just kind of forces you to make plays, rotate when you wouldn't really normally want to. You kind of have to take those chances, those risks. Full mid control for Mousesports with 4 players. Smoke continuously being put down on a window, which means Malta's never able to get any vision on what's happening. They do not have the information. The only thing they have is Dexter Ford on ramp, and if he wins the 1v1 against Rops, then maybe that gives them a way back into this round. Enz might be the one to do it, however. He picks up the fallen AWP and finds a frag on Kerrigan.
Oh, the bomb's going in first, though, from Chris J. That's a horrible spot to drop the bomb. Smoke's now going to be deployed. Frozen nearly catches a stray bullet. There you go. Again, the bomb in first is just so rough. And
yeah,
Rops,
that's the type of sloppy plays that you normally shouldn't really be falling into. I'm sure Kerrigan's not going to be happy about that. It's fair enough for Christian to go for the play. You can understand it, but not with the bomb. That's just a bit of oversight. But luckily for Mousesports, they do have such a big lead that they can afford little blunders like that here and there. It's not going to hurt them too much. We'll see, though, if Greyhound have anything left in this half. Their 1 round was 5 ago. It's been 2 different 5-round winning streaks for Mousesports so far this game.
Exactly, not stringing anything together on Greyhound. On the Seeking side, that's not going to be good enough, you'd think. But again, we have been in this very territory earlier today. Sicko tagged out to 52. Continues to be neutralized by Mousesports. 3 players in mid. Bomb dropped on the T side of B-Apps. And right now, Chris J just waiting for a potential aggressive play again from the likes of Dexter. But to be fair, it seems like he has learnt from that mistake now. He hasn't pushed since he got smacked, and then Greyhound ended up losing off the back of it 3 or 4 rounds ago.
Rops has come off of A pretty early here, heading over towards the B apartments, and there's 3 towards middle, so it's going to be one of those 2-3 splits we've been talking about that Mousesports oh so love. They love to get in your face quickly and just split the site with the utility they have and just try to overwhelm you with their aim. Dick Stacy, though, in this close angle, it's not going to get Molotov. Chris J on the deeper side, so Dick Stacy could be a huge problem, Vince.
He could, but he's been weeded out by Chris J. Sicko at range on short. Sure, gets the kill, but it doesn't really impact the round result. You have to feel it's going to be a bomb plant. The Molotov is far too late, not going to spread at all to anybody. Chris J's also been boosted up on the box. And Greyhound again, having to cut their losses just after getting a win. This is going to be so frustrating for them.
Absolutely. There's really no question about it. Especially with Dick Stacy and Malta having what should have been a very effective little setup there. It's just that Dick Stacy gets checked, and that's really all there is to it. If he's able to find a couple of kills, that could be a very different situation. Could, you know, get them a man advantage, could give time for the rotation. None of that's going to happen, though. And so that 11th round is going to strike onto the board for Mousesports. They are indeed just seemingly on cruise control for that playoff spot. While Greyhound's done a lot of cool upsets and been a fun team to follow throughout this event, it seems like their life may finally be cut.
Definitely is shaping towards that direction, there's no doubt about it. Valiantly battling back multiple times. Again, they can hold their heads high whatever happens here, but Mousesports are ruthless. They want that playoff spot. They want to go the distance. They'll definitely be in the running as one of the favorites to actually win the whole thing now that so many other teams have dropped out, the likes of EG and Liquid.
Right. But
Which,
Mouse Vitality is going to be such a banger. The amount of skill in that server, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sure. Yep. Still very interested to see what Shox can do because we haven't really had a chance to cast him yet. So we're kind of in the dark about his impact on Vitality.
Seems like it's been kind of a mixed bag so far from what I was able to glean, but I didn't get to see their game against Astralis. Obviously, Mousesports again will want revenge against Vitality, you best believe, after the major. But here we go. Can they get there first is the question. Malta missing a big shot there, at least able to recover for the second, but he's isolated from Dick Stacy.
He is. And if he landed the first, he may have been able to get a second. Sicko. Again, last bastion of hope in so many rounds. Maybe called upon once more. In, still looking towards the connector. Maybe assuming that a look was in play. Voxic tickling the bob, drawing up players. There is the kill onto Dexter. Sicko 1v3. We've seen these pull off quite a few times, but a slow peek against Voxic will not do. 12-2 scoreline. Mousesports romping away towards the finish line here in this best of 3.
Yeah, just so many rounds for Mousesports, and so many of them have been dominant. They've survived with 3 players in almost every single round or more. There's only been a couple of rounds that's been different, and only the 2-round victories for Grayhound. So the scoreboard reflects dominance just when you look at it on the surface, but when you dig deeper, it gets even worse. And now we see a Palace push. Rop seems to be set up well to take care of it. There it is. Dotting the eyes of Dexter. That's part of the finishing touches it seems for Mousesports this half. Lead to 13, but we'll see. Is Grayhound able to respond? They do get deep into the B apartments, but Mousesports get away.
And we saw a 12-3 comeback. This could be one step further in favor of Mousesports. It's not looking like Grayhound can muster much of a comeback. Sicko, flick across. Beautiful headshot onto Chris J. Dick Stacy using the gap between the smokes. Gonna try and pot as many heads as he possibly can. Sicko's gone down. Voxic is looking. And with the second, actually land the last 2 kills. It was almost poetry in motion. 13-2 the score. We're gonna have to see if Grayhound can do it again after this short break.
Chasing the future, let's go. So we don't sing alone. It's only to get the best of us. I fight for what you know. I let the world bet against us, but we'll be getting close.
The last half of our proceedings here on the DreamHack Masters Malmö, sponsored by CORSAIR B stream. I'm Vince
Beat your
joined by
best.
Dust. Say again, sorry.
I'll say B for best, man.
Well, we are now because we're the only stream live.
Exactly.
So we have to be by
You
default,
really
right?
read between the lines there, yeah.
Smashed it, mate. Smashed it.
Indeed.
See if Grayhound can. This would be just every bit as impressive as their earlier win against Liquid if they could do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's improbable. I'm not going to ask you the question because I know what the answer will be, Dust. But here we go. Grayhound forcing onto the site. Voxic at range. Sicko actually flicking across to his teammates. Not sure they'll be too happy about that. But they have pushed Mousesports far enough back to get up in the face. Gooch actually delivered onto Dick Stacy by Inz's hands. Flashbang onto Carrigan. He's going to just back away with his USP and let them come to him. One kill goes his way, but that's going to be all she wrote. And now the rest of his team are barreling down on the site. Frozen and Chris J exchanging headshots. Dick Stacy and Dexter are so very low. Dexter is lining them up, but he's a one-man apocalypse for Mousesports. Glock headshots all day.
My goodness, that's exactly what Grayhound needed to have any hope of coming back in this game, is someone getting that spark. Dexter, who has been quite good for Grayhound throughout the tournament, has been real slow here. Up until then, he was 3-11, now doubles his frag count with that round, that one that Grayhound could maybe use to at least build this to a respectable scoreline, and then from there, who knows? But it's still so far away. And now Rops with the deagle. This is devastating scenes taking place on the A ramp. This should be the one that Grayhound bag up easily, but they're into a 3-on-3.
They try, but apparently there's a hole at the bottom of said bag, but it seems like they have plastered it up. It's back in working order. Smoke and Molotovs in the eyes of Mousesports. They're just going to have to sit tight and wait. Wait for it to clear. Carrigan is trying to rotate into CT boxes. Still plenty of time, of course. Grayhound aren't in a rush to get the bomb planted. There's the flashbang. Voxic, meanwhile, with the MP9, is doing so much damage here to the economy of Grayhound, who will be getting the bomb planted. Sicko, in the meanwhile, just going to chill behind the box. Out he comes. And the MP9 is going to let Voxic down.
So Grayhound do weather the storm. A little bit dicey there for a second, but in the end, they pull it off. They get the 4. Mousesports now do likely need to take a save. They might get some upgraded pistols at least. Yes, we do see some deagles. Or at least one coming out for Rops. Rops definitely an excellent deagler. No question about that. But Voxic in that same regard as well, but he's not going to go for it. But Frozen is, and again, Frozen, an epic deagler.
Certainly packs a big punch with the gun, and so does Rops. Not to be overshadowed.
I think Mousesports is the best eco team in the world. I'm just going to say it. Their deagles are so nasty across the board.
Oh, Rops, calm down. Don't do it to the... They're already on the floor, they're hurting. He wants to finish this off quick. There's a lot of damage being inflicted on the approach. Dick Stacy and Sicko both licking their wounds. And Rops, who's already got 2, is going to add a 3rd to his collection.
Oh,
No
my, they have
4th.
families. Come on. They do have families, Vince. Ah, that's tough. But you have to also applaud Mousesports. We talked about them. Those deagles are so dangerous. Rops coming up huge. Got some help, of course, along the way. But now Mousesports 1 round away from map point and series point and the playoffs tomorrow against Vitality in the quarterfinals. Grayhound just trying to hold on.
At this point, hanging on by their nails. Absolutely gripping on to Mirage with all their might. Mousesport, so much firepower on their team. Utility's looking good. A sole AK-47 for Dick Stacy as he moves across the CT boxes. There's the kill they were looking for. This is what they can execute off. Rops is going to pick up the AWP and says, nah, let's just go back to the AK. That's not working out for me. If he needs to, it's still there for him. Flashbangs to CT boxes now. Smoke in the eyes. Chris J goes aggro. That's to his death. And now Dexter with a deagle is trying to hold it down from Palace. Maybe this isn't over just yet. Rops, though, is carving out some heads. He's carving out a chance for Mousesports to get back on the site. This is where the lack of nades is going to start to hurt Grayhound, though. They don't have any flashes or smokes to deal with the push, but Dick Stacy is still putting down frags with the AK-47. Mousesports trying to get back onto the site and pillage this. Frozen just double checking to make sure no one's chilling in mid with his plants. Frozen has been winged on the approach from Dexter. Rops still tapping, still finding headshots. Bomb is dwindling away in the smoke. It's gonna light them up and knocks them both down. And Grayhound are just about hanging on.
They are indeed lingering around. I thought they were circling the bowl vents, but they do still seem to be clinging on. At least for now. We have to remember Mousesports didn't really have too much into that in this round. Again, not a whole hell of a lot, just the 2 AWPs.
Mousesports won't be sweating it too hard just yet. It always seems like that double-digit mark where teams will start to look over their shoulder a little bit.
Yep.
There's a long way between now and then. Chris Shea, though, encircled, sandwiched by terrorists. If he doesn't get picked off by Dick Stacy, there was Malta coming up from on the underpass.
Doesn't seem like Mousesports have been able to find too much just yet. They did more with less, though, just a couple of rounds ago is the thing, so you always still have to fear them. Rops' Deagle so on point to steal that round away, and he's still on the board with the Deagle and armor. You also still have Frozen out there with an AWP, so there is still some things for Grayhound that they must kind of work past as they do head to this A-bomb that they're going to pinch it. 2 from ramp, 2 from connector, 1 from house. That's a lot of angles to handle if you're Mousesports, so Grayhound should be in good shape.
And Rops pull out the magic Deagle again. Only the one time. Frozen, interestingly, is actually pushing in with the AWP. You'd expect that maybe they want to hold on to this, and that's why. He's got 2 kills. The bomb's been dropped. Grayhound, this is a round you simply had to get. If you don't, there's going to be 10 match points. 10 elimination points if you're Grayhound. Facing off against you, here's the CZ Carrigan from the wings of jungle is going to pounce with 2. The heartbreak has become a reality. Mousesports had no right to even get close to winning that round.
I think that's really the best assessment you could ever have about that. But Frozen with the AWP, Kerrigan with the CZ, they do figure it out, and you have to feel like now the final nails are being put in Grayhound's coffin. It's been a fun run, guys. I've enjoyed watching it. You've pulled off some cool upsets. You even had a map against Mousesports here. But I think it's time to say sayonara to the men from down under. We'll see, though. They do at least have a little bit of a bye to go here. Maybe there is still some bit of hope.
Not much, though, is there?
It's like a dead pixel on a television. That's how much light is left.
Not too much left, then. Mousesports, though. With Rops in middle on the window. And Dexter has been put down with authority. Chris Shea's AWP will do the work for Mousesports. They have equalized at least, but the player behind them, Malta, who've been getting around the back of window, is the next to be dispatched. It ends in a 1 versus 4. Desert Eagle, now an SG. So he's upgraded his weaponry at least and may have the drop onto Voxic, who's round the corner. There's the headshot. Does have the bomb, so he could fake either of these sites with this much time left. As far as 1v3s go, this is at least in the realms of possibility, but Chris Shea has him. Chris Shea has him. And Mousesports now have a place in the playoffs and the CORSAIR DreamHack Masters Malmö.
Indeed, they have done it. It did take a little bit longer than maybe people expected, but Mousesports do find their way into the playoffs. They will be playing against Vitality in the quarterfinals tomorrow. Alongside them is Nip and Fnatic playing in the other quarterfinal. Then Astralis and Navi already have direct spots into the semifinals. And that's going to do it for the group stage then. Again, we appreciate every single one of you who tuned into the secondary stream throughout these last few days. I am Dust. With me has been Vince. We've covered every single game here on the B stream, which amounts to, I think, 24 or 25 maps across the 3 days. Had a couple of long ones. had a little bit of a short day yesterday, I guess, all things considered, but still 3 best of 3s a day, plus the long first day. Again, if you folks enjoyed the broadcast, this is it for Vince and I for this tournament. The playoffs will be covered by the other guys in the stadium starting tomorrow. So if you did enjoy us and you want to follow us in our future endeavors, you can hit !Casters in chat, I believe, and it should throw up our Twitters. Also, maybe our producer will throw it up one last time, but it is @FollowDus and @OnFireVince. We would really appreciate your feedback. Vince and I trying to build a little bit of a duo here. We've been working together over the years, and we want to keep it going, so hope you enjoyed it. And other than that, folks, yeah, just make sure you're using that hashtag DHMasters and make sure you're turning into the mainstream throughout the rest of this week and weekend to catch the rest of the tournament. Vince, I'll pass it to you. Do you have any final words you'd like to share before we sign out for the tournament?
Well, just a huge thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Whether the comments have been good or bad, we still love you all. And that's, yeah, as you said, that's it from the B stream. So definitely tune in. Also, a final little bit. If you haven't already, go ahead and book your tickets to the playoffs, especially if you're Swedish. You've got 2 Swedish teams fighting off against each other in the quarterfinals. There is no excuse not to get across there. No excuse. Anyway, that's it from us, guys. Peace. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.